Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to CNET's CES 2022 live coverage. We've got a very exciting morning. I'm Ashley Esqueda. If you don't know me, you probably don't hang out on our YouTube channel, which means you should subscribe. But I also have a very exciting co-host with me today, one of my favorite people here at CNET, the editor-in-chief of Roadshow. Hi, Tim Stevens. How are you?
Good morning, Ashley. I'm doing great. It's great to be with you.
It's always a delight. This is one of the only times of the year we get to work together. And
yeah, we can talk about EVs and things, which is something we both love.
We both love EVs. And so, we've had a lot of car news this year at CES, right? This seems like a really good year for car news.
Yeah, definitely been a lot of good car news. I mean, Sony dropped a surprise with their SUV on us last night and confirmed that the car that they showed off at CES a couple of years ago, that they actually want to build the thing. So that was a nice surprise. But we're also got a lot of cool stuff from Honda yesterday. And now, we're rolling into the GM press conference where there should be some good news out there too. So yeah, it's been a good year for cars, even though a lot of these companies are shifting to do the virtual thing in the wake of Omicron, like so many of us.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few things that we won't see today because of Omicron, but let's talk about what we might want to see. Is there anything that we're expecting? Is there anything that, that we could see as a surprise? I mean, I know they've shown off some concepts in the past that maybe could be shown again today. Do you want to kind of fill in the blanks there for anybody at home who might be interested?
Yeah, absolutely. The big thing that we are looking forward to seeing today is the Silverado Ev. Ford has made a big splash with the F-150 Lightning, their electric truck. Now it's time for Chevy to pull out the stops and show us what they're going to do with the Silverado. Silverado versus F-150, that's kind of the big competition for the U.S. market in the gasoline and diesel-powered side of things. Now it's the EV side of things. So we haven't really gotten a good full look at what the truck is. They've given us some teases, and that's about it. So we're expecting to get a full look at what the Silverado looks like in its EV, guys. And the big question on my mind is, well, A, how much is it going to look like the existing Silverado? The F-150 Lightning looks almost exactly like a normal F-150, which some people think is a good thing. Some people think, I wish that it had been a little bit more distinctive. The other big question, of course, is how much is this going to cost? Ford priced the F-150 Lightning very aggressively. You can get one of those under 40 grand if you don't mind dealing without some options, although you're going to be paying more likely 55 and up for an XLT trim. How much is Chevy going to charge for the Silverado EV? That's the big question on my mind. And I'm wondering if they'll even answer that question. Oftentimes when we see a new vehicle debut like this, they don't even give us any price figure at all. So we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, usually it's availability and pricing at a later date. We'll share later. We want you to get hype a little bit, want you to be excited about it, and then we'll drop the price on you later. Okay, so we've got about 7 minutes or so until the press conference starts. I do want to ask you about it seems like a lot of the car companies out there, or traditionally what we know as car companies, are starting to move a lot into the autonomous space. They're starting to move a lot into smart cities and other types of mobility. We've seen with Hyundai, they bought Boston Dynamics, so they're getting really into robots now. Is there anything that GM has sort of ventured into that might be a surprise for us today, or something that maybe we may not kind of associate them with that we can potentially expect to see from them?
Yeah, there are a few things that I could expect to see GM doing today to show a little bit more of their other ventures into other areas. Autonomy is definitely a big one that you mentioned. GM's partnered with Cruise. That's kind of not really a subsidiary, but definitely a strong partnership with Cruise. And that's been doing, the company's been doing a lot of testing of autonomous vehicles, typically in Chevy Bolts, which are their smaller EV hatchbacks. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of an update on Cruise's operations from GM today as part of CES. Autonomy is always a hot topic at CES. So it'll be interesting to see what we get out of Cruise. Cruise has been doing a lot of testing in San Francisco lately, for example, doing a lot of fully autonomous driving there. And so I'm hoping that we get some other updates from there on their autonomy front, and even more consumer available stuff. A lot of what Cruise has been testing is like ride sharing, a next step Uber kind of thing, where your driver is, well, there is no driver.
There's just no driver. Yeah, you just get in and it takes you somewhere. And obviously at CESs of old, before the germs came, we used to be able to do these test drives at the convention center or somewhere off-site where they would say, okay, like you get a autonomous car ride from, one hotel to the LVCC, which I'm a little bummed we're missing out on things like that at CES, because those are always the really fun things that you just can't do anywhere else, really.
Yeah, it was always a fun rush to be able to ride in those things. And it was, even though we're not in Vegas today because of Omicron, there was always a lot of CES flu and things like that. So it was always good to avoid that anyway. So we are missing that experience, but the experience that a lot of people have had the opportunity to get from General Motors products, particularly Cadillacs, has been Super Cruise. And that's something that Cadillac has only had in a very limited number of vehicles. And we've been waiting for them to expand that to more products. Super Cruise, basically, if you're not familiar, is a more advanced, hands-off autonomous driving system that only works on highways, really divided lanes, that kind of thing, where you can get on the highway, push a button, and take your hands off the wheel. We've been waiting for Cadillac to expand that across their product portfolio a little bit more and make it more advanced. So maybe with all the autonomy buzz around CES, maybe we'll see something more like that today too.
Well, as always, as a person who lives in Los Angeles with lots of traffic, anything that allows me to press a button and forget about driving makes me very happy.
That is the ideal playground for sure.
Truly. Okay, so we've got about 4 more minutes. I think I would love to, we'll talk about it really quickly and then we'll jump into the press conference. So we've seen pretty much every vehicle vertical or genre or what's the word that I'm missing here, Tim, that you're
Segment,
I'm sure
perhaps?
you know. Yeah, sure. The segment. We've seen every type of segment with the exception of the kind of really budget electric vehicle. Do you think that might be something that GM... obviously, I think all these car companies are figuring this out. They have to have a competitive car in that segment. But do you think we might see something today? Maybe something like that. I know the Bolt obviously is one of the more affordable EVs out there. But do you think we might see anything even less expensive? Even though I know the average price of a car has skyrocketed in the last year and a half, or
so
2
the prices
years
are
now.
definitely going through the roof right now, but
Yeah.
there is definitely a need and a gap for truly affordable EVs, those priced under $35,000. As you mentioned, you can get a Bolt for well under $40K at this point, but you really can't get them because they've all been recalled due to battery issues, which is really disconcerting. That's a really unfortunate thing. The big challenge right now, of course, are the cost of battery packs in these cars would be pretty big to give the mileage range that we want, and those are very expensive. So that right there means that EVs tend to be more expensive, but also it's still very early in the era of the EV. There's a lot of R&D costs that need to be offset. A lot of these companies, GM's building massive battery factories and a lot of research and development to make sure that these products are as reliable as all the cars that they've been making for the past 100 years or so. They've got to learn pretty quickly, and that is pretty expensive up front. So once we get over this big R&D hurdle with all these products coming to market and all the design that has to go in to make them work, at that point, these costs should start to come down. But if GM can show off something that's truly affordable, again, somewhere under 35 grand today, I think that would be a great thing.
That would be amazing. I just can't wait to see the inevitable, can we call it a car station? The Sony car station? The drive station.
Yeah, I just hope you don't have to turn it upside down to get
There's
it out
a
of your driveway.
PlayStation and the drive station. I can't wait to see the inevitable scalper pricing from the Best Buy shortages.
And I hope to make
Can
a
I buy
brand new one,
will I be
too.
able to buy my car at Best Buy? That's I have so many questions. All right. Well, we have about a minute left. I cannot wait to see what GM has in store for us. I think it's going to be a really great press conference. We will be coming back afterwards to discuss it. So please stick around, watch the press conference. And we also have ongoing CES coverage. There's going to be some really cool stuff on our CNET highlights channel later today. I know BMW is doing a press conference where they're teasing something very exciting, so you may want to check that out. And yeah, that's what we have going on. We also have tons of other CES coverage, both on CNET.com and right here on our CNET YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, we would love for you to do that. We absolutely enjoy bringing you the best content, whether it's tech or whether it's automotive. We've got you covered, and pretty much everything else, to be honest. So you've got to get in there and enjoy it. Just swim in all the great content we're making you this week. Tim, is there anything else that we should mention before GM goes live?
I mean, flying cars are always something fun to expect at CES, so
Oh,
maybe we'll see
yeah.
something cool like that. But I don't know. I feel like GM might be a little bit more practical this time. So we'll have to wait and see. Mary Barra usually does a great job with these presentations. It's definitely one of
Mhm.
the major ones that we've been looking forward to. One of the things that we were looking forward to cover when we learned about it months ago. So yeah, I'm expecting big things from General Motors today, and I hope that they deliver.
This is not the show to play it safe. This is CES. You got to bring your best flying cars.
True, but
I
sometimes, I find that some of the CS concepts can be a little too far forward. The ones that I think resonate most with our readers, the ones that we see a lot of traffic around anyways, are the ones that are kind of more near future within
coming.
the next couple of years. We see
Yeah.
a lot of crazy concepts that are 20 years out, and those are fun, don't get me wrong. But if there's no real direct path to get there, if we don't really know how we're going to get to this amazing flying feature, I mean, everything 2 years ago was all about Uber Elevate and flying cars there, and
Oh,
Uber is
that's
not
true.
exactly
Oh
in the
man, that's
position to be delivering any flying cars anytime soon, based on their recent financial performance. So, I tend to look at more grounded concepts at CES to be more interesting, like the Mercedes-Benz EQXX, for example. We were talking about that earlier. That's a fantastic
yeah.
forward-looking car, but yet it's very grounded in the present need to drive better aerodynamics in our EVs. And so, I think that's a really
Mhm.
great example of what to me
And
is a really great concept
sustainable
at CES. Yes.
interior, like all of
Yeah,
the different
exactly.
features and options they're saying they're going to be bringing to their actual production cars. Like that's really exciting stuff for me. We've discussed mushroom leather is one of my favorite topics of this year's
Very
CES
intriguing thing.
2022. Very interesting to me. Just feels like a whole lot of Star Trek. It just feels like just reminding me of Star Trek Discovery. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're finally getting into mycelial materials. This is what we need. We just really needed it as a society. As I mentioned, the Desert Tex, which is made from cactus fiber. If you missed out on the EQXX presentation earlier this week, for anyone out there watching, this is a material made out of cactus fibers, which is very exciting to me, but also as someone who lives in Southern California, very convinced that is in fact what we will be wearing when the water dries up. So, all right. And on that note, GM's press conference is starting. Let's jump in. Let's take a listen. Thanks for watching our pre-show.
Talk about everything that is happening at General Motors from what we talked about last year.
Well, we're certainly thrilled to have you here virtually, and I know you've been so personally committed to the innovation that is making the world a better place, both during the pandemic and beyond. And thanks to your leadership, honed by over 4 decades at GM, EVs are no longer just a future promise. They're making waves in the auto industry now.
Well, absolutely. And I will highlight what we're calling the Ultim Effect. It's the many ways that our Ultium electric vehicle platform is enabling us to reimagine how people and goods are moved and doing it on a scale that brings us much closer to our vision of a zero-emission future. I'm so excited to share this vision along with several compelling proof points. And also, if you think about it, it was just last year we were here announcing BrightDrop, and now BrightDrop vehicles are on the road. So we are making tremendous progress, and I hope everyone's going to enjoy seeing all of the innovation and next steps that General Motors is bringing forward.
Okay, well, congratulations. I don't want to steal your thunder, but I do hope to see you back in Detroit. You have a phenomenal team that's moving forward, moving the nation forward, moving the whole transportation forward. I know you have some really exciting announcements to make, so thanks for dropping in, and goodbye. See you soon. Okay, once again, I am thrilled to share with you a keynote presentation by GM President and CEO Mary Barra on the future of the auto industry.
Hello and Happy New Year to everyone joining us today. Obviously, I'm not on stage at CES in Las Vegas. I'm actually on the stage of the historic Fox Theater in Detroit. While the venue has changed, our message and our pursuit of sustainability and climate equity remain every bit as vital. That's what drives the passion and energy at General Motors as we lead one of the most profound transformations of any industry. GM is redefining how people and goods are moved. Our commitment to a vision of a world with zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion has become a movement and has positioned us ahead of much of the competition. As we implement our growth strategy, we have an opportunity and, frankly, a responsibility to create a better future for generations to come. Visionary investments made over the past decade in electrification, software-enabled services, and autonomous driving have enabled GM to transform from automaker to platform innovator, one with the vision, the people, and the technology to change the world. We are creating world-class technology solutions and services that will change the way people move, along with new fleet solutions and entirely new business models. Our stated goals begin with becoming carbon neutral as a company by 2040. To help us meet that goal, we are on track to invest $35 billion in electric and autonomous vehicles by 2025, powering our plans to launch more than 30 electric vehicles globally over that same time frame, including options for every price point and lifestyle. As previously announced, our plan is to have all new light-duty vehicles be electric by 2035. And today I'm pleased to announce that we'll introduce all-electric heavy-duty vehicles on that same timetable. These all-electric HD trucks will be engineered to deliver effortless heavy-duty hauling and towing while offering customers amazing new features and a range needed to get the toughest jobs done. We plan to convert more than 50% of our manufacturing footprint in North America and China to EV production by 2030. The Ultium transformation has already happened at Factory Zero in Detroit and is underway in Spring Hill, Tennessee. To meet the demands for batteries, we believe that we have one of the most vertically integrated supply chains for battery production in the industry. 2 of our battery plants are already under construction today in Ohio and Tennessee. And 2 more U.S.-based plants are also being planned as we build the scale that will enable us to lower the cost of EVs to make them accessible to everyone. 100% renewable energy will power all of our U.S. facilities by 2025 and globally by 2035. We're also taking strategic steps to simplify and strengthen our semiconductor supply chain for the long term in partnering with leading semiconductor manufacturers. These actions on semiconductors and our new battery plants are all part of a broader initiative to build a more secure EV supply chain. At the same time, we are investing nearly $750 million through 2025 to expand access to EV charging in the U.S. and Canada. And because our vision is about people, we allocated $25 million to climate equity to help ensure that people and communities most affected by climate change are not left behind. Our commitment to ESG, environmental, social, and governance is foundational to our strategy, and the opportunity is massive. 1 year ago at CES, we launched our Everybody In campaign, inspired to use our technology and scale to take everybody on the journey to a more equitable, safer, all-electric future. A mission that includes developing products other companies will use to help them meet their own sustainability goals. To get there, we made a crucial decision to invest in a dedicated all-electric vehicle platform that has scale and flexibility, that's designed to provide GM's EV customers with longer range, faster charging times at lower cost, while providing our designers and engineers with the kind of freedom to create vehicles they previously could only dream about. And that's Ultium, a revolutionary vehicle platform that can be used to make EVs ranging from compact crossovers to trucks to sports cars. Ultium features a combination of groundbreaking battery architecture, electric propulsion systems, and a common high-energy chemistry-agnostic battery cell that will power an entire range of next-generation electric vehicles. The same hardware platform that created a super truck like the GMC Hummer EV will also create the stunning Cadillac Lyriq, and soon, higher volume entries across the globe, across the spectrum of GM brands that gets us even closer to our vision of a zero-emission and carbon-neutral future. But Ultium's flexibility extends beyond cars, trucks, and crossovers, even beyond automotive. We recently announced a collaboration to develop and commercialize Ultium battery technology and Hydrotech fuel cell systems for Wabtec locomotives, combining the technologies to help pave the way for zero-emissions rail transportation. Progress is being made, and this is just the beginning. We also have an agreement with Liebherr Aerospace in France to develop Hydrotech technology along with GM-supplied controls and software to explore the potential use of the technology as auxiliary power for future aircraft, demonstrating one of the many ways our zero-emissions technology can be applied beyond surface transportation. Through our most recent deal with Pure Watercraft, we'll be co-developing and commercializing battery electric watercraft to help accelerate the boating industry's transition to electrification. Where Ultium is the hardware platform, Ultify is the end-to-end software platform that enables frequent and seamless delivery of software-defined features, services, and ownership experiences. Ultify is made possible by the investments we made in GM's Vehicle Intelligence Platform, which we began rolling out in 2019 and is now on 7 vehicles, unlocking the ability to scale new software and services rapidly, seamlessly, and securely. It will allow customers to update their vehicle's software and download new content over the air. They can even upgrade their vehicle driving dynamics. For example, the technology is capable of allowing drivers to download a software calibration to boost the vehicle's acceleration. This over-the-air capability marks the transition from software-enabled vehicles to software-defined vehicles. Scott Miller is GM's VP of Software-Defined Vehicles and Operating Systems. He and his team are developing the features and functions that enable Ultify to reinvent the ownership experience.
Ultify began with a simple question. How can we enable incredible future customer experience that only exists in our wildest dreams? We believe Ultify will revolutionize almost everything we know about the driving experience. Truly. Well, the world has been developing operating systems for things like this. We developed Ultify as an operating system for things like this. Traditionally, the software that controls our vehicles would be embedded in control modules distributed around the vehicle. We're developing this new Linux-based software platform that allows us to separate the key software from the hardware to deliver new features and services more rapidly. What that means to our customers, it's going to be amazing. Ultify is a platform that enables the frequent and seamless delivery of upgrades, personalization options, and new and exciting apps to drivers on demand. It's essentially always ready to provide available updates over the air, whenever preferred by the customer. As a platform, it's got impressive capability, lightning-fast processing, robust cybersecurity, and secure cloud connectivity. And it's developer-friendly. In fact, it's so developer-friendly that we are encouraging as many third-party app integrators as possible to use our Linux-based platform to innovate for our customers. Let's talk about what a future with Ultify might look like. What if you could change the theme of your interior based on your mood, making it more entertaining and more comfortable? What if your parked car could close its windows before it starts to rain? Or use its sensors to adjust teen driver settings for extra caution in school zones? Or simply open your garage door and turn on the lights as you pull into your house. Imagine if you could add options like more advanced driver assist features to your vehicle years down the road that weren't even available when you first brought it home. All of that may be possible with Ultify. We'll leverage the technology that already exists on our vehicles, the sensors, the cameras, the controllers, and introduce cloud services to add new features without disrupting their original function. So get ready for the future. Thanks to Ultify, there are infinite possibilities to create new customer experiences for GM vehicles that can be updated again and again for years to come. And all we have to do now is dream them up together.
As Ultium and Ultify come to market, we're creating profound benefits for customers and for society at large, and new opportunities for GM to positively impact not only the way people move, but goods as well through emissions-free driving. We're calling this the Ultim Effect. There are 5 waves which can be explored through our online CES experience. The foundational first effect is GM's ability to rapidly scale and disrupt established categories, such as insurance and the defense industries. In the case of BrightDrop, Ultium has enabled us to create entirely new categories. Just 1 year ago, we introduced BrightDrop as an ecosystem of light commercial electric vehicles, electrified containers, and cloud-based software that reimagines the delivery industry for an all-electric future, building smarter and more efficient solutions for last-mile logistics. It's a great example of GM's ability to incubate startup ideas into fully fledged businesses, bringing new revenue streams and new growth opportunities to the company. And of course, BrightDrop and its fleet customers will join GM in the race to help decarbonize e-commerce, which is exploding as an industry. Here is BrightDrop's president and CEO, Travis Katz.
Thank you, Mary. At BrightDrop, we are reimagining delivery for an all-electric future. BrightDrop leverages the best of two worlds: the cutting-edge innovation, agility, and focus of a technology startup with the engineering and manufacturing might of General Motors. This combination gives us powerful advantages over both traditional automakers and startups. One of the proof points of this advantage is our speed to market. We delivered our first all-electric delivery vans to FedEx last month, just 20 months after the vehicle was conceived, making the EV600 the fastest vehicle to market in GM's history. You see, there's real urgency here. E-commerce is expanding at an exponential rate. By 2023, FedEx estimates 100 million packages will be delivered every day in the US alone. This growth presents an amazing business opportunity, but it also creates real-life challenges, including labor shortages, increasing congestion on our streets, and of course, an increase in carbon emissions. At BrightDrop, we are not only creating solutions to address these challenges, but have the ability to deploy them at scale. With our Ultium-based electric vans, BrightDrop will help to significantly reduce carbon emissions from last-mile delivery, the hidden footprint of e-commerce. And with our software and electrified containers, we can help dramatically reduce traffic congestion in our cities and help make our streets safer for both pedestrians and drivers. And now, BrightDrop is about to help transform the fleets of two of the world's most iconic brands, joining us as both customers and collaborators on our journey to decarbonize the last mile. The first is none other than FedEx, a titan of delivery. We've been working with FedEx for some time already, but our collaboration is about to take on an entirely new dimension. It's tremendously exciting. Joining us via video is FedEx President of the Americas, Richard Smith.
Thank you, Travis, and hello from the FedEx World Headquarters in Memphis, Tennessee. Together, we are truly transforming transportation. FedEx and BrightDrop have made stunning progress together in the span of just 1 year. Last year at CES, we announced that FedEx would purchase the first EV600 cargo trucks for our fleet. Well, I'm happy to report we recently received the first 5 EV600s in Inglewood, California, an important step towards meeting our milestones, and we are very, very pleased with them. Last year, we also announced that we were conducting a limited pilot in New York City with BrightDrop's electric container, the EP1. We found that it helped us increase our delivery efficiency by 15% and cut curbside dwell time in half, all while reducing physical strain on our couriers. We plan to expand testing of the EP1 into 10 markets beginning this year. Last March, we also announced our goal of achieving carbon neutral operations by 2040, an ambitious goal considering the vast size of our global transportation networks. Across FedEx worldwide, we envision adding over 200,000 medium-sized electric pickup and delivery vehicles as we march toward our 2040 goal. Electrifying our pickup and delivery vehicle fleet is a critical component and makes sense from a service and financial standpoint. It translates to more reliable service for our customers, better returns for our shareholders, and stewardship of the environment. A win-win-win. This is where now meets next for FedEx. By 2025, we're planning for 50% of FedEx Express global pickup and delivery vehicle purchases to be electric, rising to 100% of all purchases by 2030. We have what we call a Goldilocks vehicle sizing strategy: small, medium, and large vehicles and specific operational uses for each. BrightDrop's current commercial EV portfolio, with the EV410 and the EV600, can cover the small and medium-sized needs for FedEx. This lineup would meet about 2/3 of our total pickup and delivery EV fleet demand, so roughly 120 to 130,000 vehicles. We've also talked to BrightDrop about the remaining 1/3, which would require a larger vehicle with cargo space in excess of 1,000 cubic feet, and hope to work with them on that as well. The bottom line, though, is this. We're going to need to add a lot of commercial vehicles before 2040, infrastructure willing, of course. Towards that end, we've added to our initial agreement with BrightDrop to secure priority for production of up to 2,000 additional EVs over the next few years. And we continue to work with BrightDrop on a longer-term agreement to reserve production of many more EVs, up to 20,000 to be delivered in the years to follow, subject to further negotiations and execution of a definitive purchase agreement. I am thrilled to be part of today's event, further demonstrating our commitment to electrifying our pickup and delivery fleet and meeting our sustainability goals. We will continue to meet the world's increasing trade and transportation needs with innovative technology companies like GM and BrightDrop in environmentally sustainable ways for our communities.
Thank you for your ongoing support, Richard. You've been on this journey with us from the beginning, and I feel strongly that we're just beginning to scratch the surface of what our two companies can achieve together. Travis mentioned two iconic global brands. It is my pleasure to introduce another iconic company, an important General Motors collaborator. We're thrilled to announce that Walmart, the world's premier multinational retailer, with their own proven commitment to sustainability, will also bring BrightDrop delivery vehicles to their fleet. Joining us by video is Walmart CEO Doug McMillon.
Thank you, Mary. We're excited about working together with you and your team. Walmart has been changing to serve customers in the ways they want to shop. In the U.S. today, with partners like FedEx, we maintain our promise of free next day and 2-day shipping from our e-commerce fulfillment centers. We offer pickup in more than 3,700 of our stores and 600 Sam's Clubs, and delivery from more than 3,400 stores and an increasing number of Sam's Clubs. We can get orders delivered to customers' doorsteps in 2 hours, and in some cases, a lot faster than that. In some U.S. markets, we also offer Walmart in-home delivery. In-home delivery relies on highly trained associate delivery drivers who not only transport customer orders, but place those orders directly into the customer's kitchen or garage refrigerator. Today, we're announcing that we're dramatically expanding in-home, taking it from being available to 6 million households to 30 million U.S. households by the end of this year. We'll support this growth by creating new roles for more than 3,000 associate drivers this year. These will be our own experienced, vetted associates rather than independent contractors. And we'll need a lot of vehicles to do it sustainably. Those will be all-electric delivery vans. BrightDrop is an important part of this equation. We've been impressed by BrightDrop's ability to bring a sustainable EV to market. So we've reserved 5,000 BrightDrop EVs that will begin hitting the road in 2023. The vans will not only be used to support in-home delivery in 2023, but also our broader last-mile delivery initiatives. This includes deploying BrightDrop electric vans to enable low-emission deliveries for other retailers and brands via Walmart Go Local, our delivery as a service business, which is being utilized by the Home Depot, Chico's, and others, including small local retailers. Not only does the implementation of EVs support our goal of operating a zero-emissions logistics fleet by 2040, it's also supported by our growing infrastructure of 1,396 EV charging stations at our stores and clubs across 41 states. Mary, this is exciting news for Walmart and BrightDrop, but it isn't the first time we've joined forces with GM to bring more sustainable delivery options to market. Last year, we invested in Cruise, GM's 100% all-electric self-driving company. Using those vehicles, we launched autonomous commercial deliveries in Scottsdale, Arizona, and have since made more than 2,700 deliveries to Walmart customers. These EV and AV programs with GM support Walmart's goal of operating a 100% zero-emissions logistics fleet by 2040, which is part of our plan to become a regenerative company. Thank you, Travis, and thank you, Mary. We appreciate the partnership.
I'm so proud to see the GM and Walmart teams working together toward a sustainable future for everyone. Thank you so much, Doug. If you're going to start a movement to change the world, you need passionate and like-minded collaborators. FedEx and Walmart, two of the most respected companies in the world, are all in. They understand the potential that comes from our combined scale and reach, and like us, they understand that it isn't just about tomorrow, it's about the long game and the journey that takes us to a zero-emissions future. I've been driving the Chevrolet Bolt Euv for some time, and I have to tell you, it is so much fun to drive. Once you experience an electric vehicle, you'll be all in. The Ultium-based GMC EV Hummer pickup is revolutionary in terms of its presence, performance, and capability. And the Cadillac Lyriq, which arrives just months from now, leverages Ultium to create a driving experience that will define the expectations for electric luxury vehicles. Today, I'm excited to share another example of a compelling product designed from GM's Ultium EV platform. It builds on more than a century of Chevrolet truck dominance, industry-leading innovation, and taps into the limitless imaginations of our engineers and design teams. We've created a truck that is more than just an electric truck. This is a purpose-built Chevrolet Silverado EV. The Chevrolet Silverado EV will harness the best of the Ultium platform and Silverado's proven credentials as the brand's best-selling nameplate. It will offer a revolutionary mix of capability, performance, safety, flexibility, and design that catapults this electric truck for both fleet and retail customers into a category of its own, while offering a GM estimated range of at least 400 miles on a full charge. I'd like to introduce the Chief Engineer of the Chevrolet Silverado EV, Nicole Kratz, along with Ryan Vaughn, Silverado EV Design Director, who will tell us more.
The Silverado EV doesn't just set the standard for all electric pickups. It sets the bar for traditional truck capability and completely reimagines what a truck can be. We will offer several variants of the Silverado EV, starting with a work truck and a higher-end RST model in late 2023. Our clean slate approach allowed us to create a new body architecture, which efficiently leverages the available 24-module Ultium battery pack as part of the fundamental structure, which enables our impressive range. This structural design integrates the capabilities Silverado customers have come to expect from a full-size pickup in terms of strength, durability, and performance, while also providing a more comfortable, confident ride both on and off-road. Offering a GM estimated range of 400 miles on a full charge on both work truck and RST models, Silverado EV customers get all they can expect from a Chevy truck and so much more. And standard DC fast charging capabilities of up to 350 kilowatts enable the Silverado EV to add approximately 100 miles of range in only 10 minutes on public DC fast chargers. 2 motors deliver power to the available 24-inch wheels on RST, improving vehicle responsiveness and control. The power is impressive and immediate. At the push of a button on the RST, Wide open Watts mode delivers at least 664 horsepower and an impressive 780 foot-pounds of torque at the driver's disposal, boasting a GM estimated 0 to 60 time of under 4.5 seconds. The chassis is designed with independent rear suspension. Add to that automatic adaptive air suspension, and the Silverado EV can raise and lower up to nearly 2 inches in each direction. Four-wheel steering offers a tighter turning radius at low speeds and improved handling and stability at higher speeds, including great trailering dynamics. The RST model offers up to 10,000 pounds of towing capability and 1,300 pounds of payload. When it comes to power in the Silverado EV, we went above and beyond traditional truck performance. When combined with the available accessory power bar, the power-based charging system offers up to 10 outlets to provide a total of 10.2 kilowatts of all-electric power available for your campsite, job site, and even your home. The Silverado EV is capable of charging another EV using the available accessory charge cord. The possibilities are truly endless. And we can't forget available Super Cruise with trailering, the industry's first true hands-free driver assistance technology for compatible roads. Last, but certainly not least, the Silverado EV will offer a comprehensive suite of standard and available safety features. Together, these technologies give drivers more confidence behind the wheel.
Our goal as a design team was to leverage the flexibility of the Ultium platform to deliver a truck that conveys capability and athletic performance. The front-end design is sculpted to efficiently direct air down the body side, significantly reducing drag and turbulence. The Silverado EV work truck is estimated to have one of the lowest drag coefficients of any available production full-size pickup truck, which helps enable our impressive available range. The Ultium platform allows us to imagine new storage and utility possibilities that come with an entirely new EV-centric design. Silverado's e-trunk, a lockable, weatherproof compartment in the front of the vehicle, provides enough space for a large suitcase and has a multitude of accessory options based on the unique needs of the customer. The storage capacity of the 5'11" bed is maximized thanks to an innovative available multi-flex midgate, which provides just over 9 feet of storage between the cab and the tailgate when open. A 40-60 second row split offers 4 configurations that create the ability to haul gear or equipment while still accommodating a passenger in the second row. An optional tonneau cover adds lockable, weatherproof storage to keep cargo protected from the elements. When you add in the available multi-flex tailgate with 6 functional positions, there's up to 10 feet 10 inches of load floor and storage capability. Inside, we integrated significant first row storage on both the work truck and RST trims. These solutions are flexible, enabling customers to use the space in a way that best meets their needs. For example, the RST's modular console features a capacity of just over 7 gallons. This means a lunch cooler can easily fit inside with room to spare. That's in the center console, sitting right between the driver and passenger. We took advantage of the Ultium architecture to shorten the front overhang for enhanced forward down vision and pushed the rear seats rearward, giving us spacious second row legroom. Passengers well over 6 feet tall will be comfortable, and they won't have to figure out where to put their feet around the tracks of the seat in front of them. And the RST's fixed glass roof offers expansive visibility, increased headroom, and an enhanced experience of spaciousness for both front and rear passengers. The Silverado EV is packed with the latest technology, which engages customers even before they get behind the wheel. When a customer approaches the truck with an enabled cell phone or key fob, the Silverado EV RST greets them with a unique exterior lighting animation. The driver-focused screens present information in a customizable and intuitive format. Upon entering the vehicle, a 3D animation appears on the massive standard 17-inch diagonal freeform LCD infotainment screen, which is paired with a neighboring 11-inch diagonal driver instrument display. Together with the driver heads-up display, with a field of view of over 14 inches, a driver can't ask for more information at their disposal. With new hands-free start, the vehicle turns on automatically after the customer enters with an enabled device, leaving hands-free to buckle up and get on the road. The Silverado EV will be the first Chevrolet vehicle to feature Ultify, giving drivers the opportunity to evolve their vehicles over time, both enhancing the vehicle capabilities and accessing cloud services in the most flexible and fastest way possible.
We're on a relentless pursuit to offer a truck for every customer, and the possibilities expand as we move into an all-electric future. It's our mission to offer solutions to other companies with sustainable transportation goals, and the Silverado EV is a critical driver of that change. The work truck trim will offer substantial capability, up to 510 horsepower and 615 foot-pounds of torque, 8,000 pounds of towing capability, and 1,200 pounds of payload. After initial launch, we will introduce a model with a max tow of 20,000 pounds. There are also nearly endless options to accessorize the work truck, as dictated by our customers' unique business needs. And a robust software system gives fleet owners the tools they need to effectively manage their EV fleet, including features that help regulate charging, grid usage, and more. We will launch our fleet model first, offering a GM estimated range of over 400 miles on a full charge. We are not alone in our desire to embrace an EV future and move the world forward with sustainable transportation. We're starting a movement. Let's hear from two other companies who are on the same mission and have expressed interest in buying some of the first Silverado EVs for their fleets.
At Enterprise, sustainability is important because we are a multi-generational family business. We know how important it is to plan for the future and that next generation of employees and customers. So our customer base is very diverse, and we have a wide range of mobility solutions. Many of our renters use our vehicles for an extended test drive. They're looking for what is the new technology in the market, what are new automobiles and new vehicles in the market that they may want to buy. And so our position as Enterprise Rent-A-Car really will help drive awareness and adoption of electric vehicles, and that includes the Silverado EV. And our customers are telling us that they love trucks, and 20% of the new car market is truck. This is an opportunity to use the Silverado EV to push awareness and brand recognition throughout the industry.
Quantum manages two things. We manage people and fleet. We think about it every day, the long-term nature of the fleet, the sustainable nature of the fleet, and how we manage that as a company over time. So when we think about an EV on a truck, a light-duty truck, the Silverado makes a lot of sense for us from an electric standpoint. The Silverado EV makes us much more efficient, more sustainable. It checks all the boxes for us. As we go into EV, the light-duty truck and the way the advances that are being made there from a fleet standpoint makes sense for Quantum.
We just gave you a first look at our Silverado EV lineup that's coming, starting with a work truck and followed soon after by the Silverado Rst. We will launch a work truck model in spring of 2023, offering an expected GM estimated range of at least 400 miles on a full charge. Additional lower-range work truck models will follow, giving customers a variety of choices with different ranges and price points to meet their needs, including a base model at a very competitive starting MSRP of $39,900 US plus dealer freight. The Silverado EV Rst First Edition will launch in the fall of 2023 as an exclusive, fully loaded model. At its core, the Silverado EV maintains the prowess that Silverado is known for, but takes it even further. It can tow, haul, carry, and do it all with incredible performance and dependability, both on and off-road, with no tailpipe emissions. Just as we saw with the Cadillac Lyriq and the GMC Hummer EV pickup and SUV, we expect a lot of early interest in this truck. So starting today, you can place your reservation for the Silverado EV at Chevrolet.com. But that's just the beginning. As you would expect from Chevrolet, we will offer additional variants and models after initial launch. We're excited to give you a sneak peek at the future Silverado EV Trail Boss model, which taps into our strong foundation of capable factory-lifted trucks. So for those customers who want something even more rugged and off-road capable, we have you covered. Today, our network of valued Chevrolet dealers sell to a wide range of customers at virtually every price point and in every segment. With an established full-line brand like Chevy, we can be in multiple segments, and with the volume, models, and the value customers all over the world have come to expect from Chevrolet. As our most popular vehicle brand, Chevy will be front and center in our mission to provide EVs for everyone. We're at the tipping point of electrification, and we are expecting this to be a massive year for Chevrolet's EV future. Very soon, we will also reveal the Equinox EV SUV. Actually, I'm giving you a sneak peek right now. The Equinox EV will be available next year, starting at an estimated MSRP of around $30,000 in the U.S. We will also debut the Blazer EV SUV later this year, priced right with a high level of refinement and options. The Blazer EV will also be available in 2023. These SUVs will have high appeal with both retail and fleet customers ready to embrace an EV future, further expanding the breadth of our Ultium platform. When you look at the Chevrolet EV portfolio arriving over the coming years, including entries in the industry's top 2 largest and fastest growing segments, no other full-line and full-size truck brand today can match the purpose-built EV portfolio of Chevrolet. In addition to our electric vehicle strategy, GM and Cruise are also pursuing the most comprehensive path to autonomous mobility in the industry, a journey that will accelerate as we transition to EVs. It's a journey that started in 2016 with the acquisition of Cruise, and then in 2017 when we introduced Super Cruise on the Cadillac brand, offering the industry's first true hands-free driver assistance technology. Cruise is on a distinct path to a fully autonomous future. Today, Cruise remains the only company able to conduct rides with passengers and without a driver in the city of San Francisco. In fact, Kyle Vogt, a founder, CTO, and interim CEO at Cruise, was the first to enjoy a driverless ride in November, with many more employees having completed rides since then. Here are a few reactions for some of the first few riders from the Cruise family.
6 blocks left. We're getting closer. Is there anyone in that car? I'm gonna pop on in there.
This is absolutely insane.
Oh,
holy baby! The car is completely driving itself.
It really feels normal.
How was my triple tostada? 5 stars.
Off you go.
This is crazy.
Follow that car. Ain't got no driver.
Meanwhile, we are working to test and validate the Cruise Origin, one of the first purpose-built, fully autonomous vehicles to hit the streets in production form. That work is happening as we speak, with GM, Cruise, and Honda working closely together on the AV system, the new form driverless vehicle, and the integration of the two into a wholly new user and rider experience. The team at Cruise remains on track to begin commercialization in the coming months. In addition to Cruise's leadership on full autonomous capability, GM is also working on advanced driver assistance technology with Super Cruise and Ultra Cruise. Super Cruise has resonated with our customers, with more than 85% of those who have experienced the technology telling us they want it in their next vehicle. More than 10 million miles have been driven using Super Cruise, and that number grows every day. We'll have Super Cruise available on 22 models across our GM brands next year, and we'll add even more each year, ultimately making the technology available across the majority of our portfolio. We're also adding to its capability using over-the-air updates to enable new Super Cruise features such as lane change on demand, automatic lane change, or trailering, an industry first, with still many more features on the way. Thanks to Ultify and the VIP electrical architecture, software updates like these can be added to new models at launch or backcast to previous select models over the air more frequently than before. Ultra Cruise, coming next year, is the next big step in our journey. Ultra Cruise is a game changer and will take driver assistance technology to the next level. Ultra Cruise will deliver door-to-door hands-free driving in 95% of driving scenarios, covering city streets, subdivisions, rural areas, and highways, eventually expanding to every paved road in the US and Canada. Ultra Cruise is not just a game changer in terms of what it enables, a door-to-door hands-free driving experience, but a technological one as well. For example, the compute architecture that will power Ultra Cruise was co-developed by GM and Qualcomm. About the size of two laptops placed on top of each other, the system uses the latest Snapdragon Ride 5 nanometer system on chips, all defined by software that has been developed completely in-house by General Motors. We believe Ultra Cruise will be the premier advanced driving assistance system on the market in capability and safe operation. Our customers will have both. It will leverage the Ultify software platform and VIP to enable the system to evolve over time, with more frequent updates, adding features, services, and functions, all over the air. This will not only help keep Ultra Cruise on the leading edge, but will also provide data to enhance performance both now and in the future. Both Super Cruise and Ultra Cruise represent access to breakthrough technology for the customer, both offering more features, conveniences, and enhancements over time. The combination of Ultra Cruise for premium offerings and Super Cruise for others will expand driver assistance technology across GM's portfolio, making the technology available to more drivers than ever before. I'm excited to announce that the Cadillac Celestic ultra-luxury sedan will be one of the first vehicles to feature Cadillac's commitment to reimagine the artful integration of design and technology. Provided at exclusive volumes, each Celestic will be hand-built, handcrafted, and tailored to reflect the unique taste and desires of its owner, delivering on an experience that will become the definition of luxury EV ownership for a new generation of luxury buyers. You will be hearing more about Celestic and our ambitious skyward trajectory for the Cadillac brand in the first half of 2022. The same spirit of innovation that is driving Celestic to redefine luxury transportation is also propelling GM's path to autonomy, which will bring us to a time when we will offer a range of fully autonomous transportation working with Cruise. As I mentioned a moment ago, we expect that Cruise will be the first to enable, which will bring us to a time when we will offer a range of fully autonomous transportation working with Cruise. As I mentioned a moment ago, we expect that Cruise will be the first to enable large-scale commercial autonomous experience for both rideshare and delivery. And we are looking further down the road at opportunities to extend fully autonomous vehicle technology to personal transportation with the safety and quality our consumers expect, and with leading-edge autonomous vehicle technology that will transform the ownership experience as we know it. In pursuing multiple paths simultaneously, GM and Cruise are gaining significant technological expertise and experience, and we are working to be the fastest to market with a retail personal autonomous vehicle. In fact, we aim to deliver our first personal autonomous vehicles as soon as the middle of this decade. These groundbreaking vehicles will recreate the economies of scale that lower the cost and increase the quality of Cruise's rideshare and delivery networks, all while bringing the amazing experience and positive impact of autonomous vehicles to a much larger audience. GM and Cruise teams will continue to work together to build a range of future personal autonomous vehicles, enabling us to aggressively pursue the massive AV market opportunities that lay ahead and to lead for both commercial and retail applications. Last year, we gave the world an initial look at personal autonomous design concepts from Cadillac that capture the range of multimodal possibilities, and we are working to explore with personal autonomy. But the real story is the unique and personalized experience that each one provides. Inner Space is the next chapter of Cadillac's Halo concept portfolio. Here is Mike Simcoe, GM's Vice President of Global Design.
Last year at CES, I had the pleasure of introducing you to the Cadillac Halo portfolio. With these designs, we're exploring not just the concept, but the reality of fully autonomous luxury transportation. We're continuing to build on the big idea of effortless travel through extraordinary means and inspiring our designers to be bold. The results are stunning transportation experiences in multiple forms that go way beyond 4 doors and 4 wheels. That's what makes the Halo portfolio so intriguing. It leans into the very real possibilities of personalised autonomous mobility through multiple vehicles, each designed for specific occasions and purposes. Like when you need to be in a meeting across town during rush hour, and time is of the essence. This personal space is a conceptual indicator of GM's interest in aerial mobility. It meets you on the roof, provides a space to continue working, and a panoramic view to inspire great ideas before it drops you at a vertiport closest to your destination. There are times when you're out for the evening and you want to socialise with a group of family or friends on the way to your destination. This social space concept encourages its passengers to focus on one another, while its biometric sensors enhance personal well-being, adjusting temperature, humidity, lighting, ambient noise, and even aromatics, so you can travel in comfort and arrive in style. Now today we'd like to introduce our newest Halo, the Inner Space, a dramatic 2-passenger electric and fully autonomous luxury concept. The concept was developed for our demanding world, where intimacy and relaxation have become precious and rare commodities. Inner Space puts human wellness and connection at the centre of a driverless environment, allowing 2 passengers to focus on their journey. The expansive glass roof and sculpted body side allows unimpeded views. The doors and the roof open as one, and the seats pivot outward to create a welcoming and comfortable entry and a thoughtful, gracious egress. The Inner Space immediately recognises you and your voice. The AI-driven interface with biometric tracking capability mirrors your digital device and evaluates your personal needs. Passengers can interact with the intuitive tactile or voice controls, and the immersive wraparound LED surface can further tailor their experience, choosing between 3 preset themes: augmented reality, entertainment, or wellness recovery. And thanks to Ultify, we can evolve the customer's experience over time as new technologies and ideas come to the surface. Transportation is changing faster and more dramatically than it has in over a century. Just imagine the future possibilities built around Ultim and Ultify platforms and enabled by our comprehensive approach to EVs, AVs, and software development. Concepts like these articulate our vision of a world with 0 crashes, 0 emissions, and 0 congestion in a most luxurious and artful way.
Inner Space and the rest of the Cadillac Halo portfolio help us to articulate our vision for an autonomous future. And while they are concepts, our path to autonomy is comprehensive and very real. In short, we believe GM and Cruise have the technology, expertise, and scale to capture both the advanced driver assist and driverless AV market opportunities before anyone else. At today's General Motors, we are witnessing the effects of our transformation from automaker to platform innovator in both practical terms and in mindset. We're witnessing what's possible when innovators and problem solvers embrace the opportunity to change the world, knowing they have the tools and the technology to do precisely that, and to deploy them with unmatched speed and scale. We are expanding our position in autonomous driving and electric vehicles, and we intend to lead in both. When you consider the GM EV portfolio today and just on the horizon, including BrightDrop, electric vans, Chevrolet Silverado EV, Equinox EV, Blazer EV, Bolt EV and EUV, GMC Sierra EV, GMC Hummer EVs, Cadillac Lyriq and Celestic, no other automaker today matches the depth and the range of GM's growing all-electric portfolio. Make no mistake, this is a movement.
We're making the world a
I think it's incredibly important that General Motors has taken this step towards EVs. We're talking about one of the world's most iconic companies here that will cause other people to stand up and say it's time. We're going to follow their lead.
We're making the world.
I hope everyone feels our passion for this movement. That video underscores that our pursuit of climate equity, of a safe, more equitable, all-electric future is truly for everyone. It also demonstrates the strength of our diversity. So if you like what you're seeing and hearing, if you want to help change the world, join the movement. Bring your passion and talents to General Motors. That leaves the question of why. Why are we doing this? For me, it comes down to this. Technology driven by purpose can change the world. GM's Ultium platform means we no longer need to imagine a zero emissions future. We're building it. We can, we must, and we are, for everyone. Thank you very much.
Into it. I'm hyped. Let's get hyped.
That was really a touching way to end, and a very long conference.
Nice.
Man, they had a lot of stuff to show, didn't they?
I was not expecting an hour. I
wasn't either.
Yeah, they had a lot of things to talk about, and which means we have a lot of things to talk about.
We don't have an hour though, Ashley, so we got to move quick.
We don't have an hour. We're gonna. First of all, neither do our viewers. They don't have an hour, and they just watched an hour. So we're gonna be kind and respectful of your time out there. Let's talk about the Silverado EV, because this is very interesting. So Mary, well, okay, over 400 miles of range, looks beautiful. That's a great design. I think.
Good. Yep.
It's really nice. But did not mention the price. Did not mention the price on stream. And
Right.
I will say,
she mentioned the price on the WT version, which is the work truck, but that's a version that we won't really be able to buy. Those are really only intended for fleets.
Corporate
The version
fleet.
that we will be able to buy will be the first edition, which is, she mentioned it will be fully loaded and available the end of next year. I know the price. She didn't mention it. Do you want to know how much that thing's going to cost, Ashley?
well, I'm going to tell you what I see on the website. So here's the website right here, which has the Silverado EV, and it says estimated MSRP starting at $39,900 plus DFC with an asterisk. So what is DFC?
That'd be I think a dealer finance charge, but
Dealer
also
finance
the
charge?
delivery.
Oh, which is the giant markup. That's the giant markup everybody's
Could
doing
be.
right now.
They're talking about delivery probably, which should be about another $1,200 on top of that.
Okay, fair. So they're saying just shy of 40,000. Is that going to be accurate? Is that it? That's the price?
If you happen to be running a small business, like they showed a few companies there, and you want to buy it for your fleet, you might be able to pay that much. If you want to actually buy a first edition one, which would be the beautiful blue one with the multi-flex and the mid-flex and the E-trunk and everything else, you're looking at $105,000.
That's a lot more than 40,000.
It is quite a bit more. Yeah, they're definitely taking a different tack than Ford. Ford is starting, as we talked about before the show, that F-150 Lightning also starts at about 40 grand, but you can buy one yourself starting at about $55,000 for the XLT model, which would be, reasonably well equipped and a nice truck. I think Chevy will get there with the Silverado. Mary did say they want to have a lot of different versions of this truck at different price points. I think we'll see things getting down to a lower level at some point. But out of the gate, it's going to be completely fully loaded with every option that you can get. And yeah, starting at over 100K for a truck with 664 horsepower, admittedly, which is 100 more than the F-150 Lightning, so it's got that going for it.
It does. And I did like that, so I'm looking at the first edition RST on the website here. I think this is a very compelling truck. And I'm curious, because I'm very curious about this because I wasn't paying attention when I was younger, and now I'm paying a little more attention. It does seem like luxury trucks are sort of a thing now, much more so than when I remember when I was a kid, my dad had this beater 1972 pickup truck that he used to put a camper on. We used to go down to Mexico for the Rosarito bike race, the Rosarito Ensenada bike race. And so, I remember when that was enough for people who use the truck kind of every day. And now it really seems like maybe in the last, what would you say, 15, 20 years? 15-ish?
Yeah, things have definitely changed. My grandpa on the farm, he had a Silverado back in the day too, and that was definitely a very basic truck. But now the average price of a new truck is somewhere in the mid $40,000 range. I haven't seen a figure update in the past years, probably even closer to 50 at this point. But for sure, you see a lot of people rolling around in trucks priced in excess of 60 grand. I mean, how many GMC Denali's do you see on the road? And those are 60 grand trucks often.
So many.
And way up from there. So, it is an interesting thing to think about, people wanting a luxury truck. But then again, if you look at this thing, the interior looks quite nice. A 17-inch touchscreen in there, plenty of comfortable seating for at least 4 or 5 people, no problem there.
Panoramic
and honestly,
glass roof, that's
right.
I mean, it is a very luxurious truck. I really like the idea that somebody somewhere in all of these companies looked at all of the really nice luxury sedans and was like, "What? I need that in my truck," and was just like, "This is what we're doing now. I've decided we're doing luxury trucks."
Right, and if you delete the the guiltiness that must come along with driving something that gets maybe 12 to 14 miles per gallon, and suddenly you've got something that'll do 400 miles on that charge. Now you don't even have to feel bad about it. Right.
Very compelling stuff. So we've talked about the Silverado a little bit. She did mention the Equinox, the pricing on the Equinox, which was $30,000. We're inching down.
Too. We saw just a quick preview of what it looked like. Just a couple screenshots of the thing, and it looks fantastic. It looks like a nice small EV. They really tightened up the design from some of Chevy's current small crossover SUVs, the Trailblazer and things like that. It looks fantastic. So starting at
very futuristic.
Starting 30 grand, we didn't get any figures beyond the price, but honestly, price is one of the most important things out there. So it's great that they're leading with that. I'm curious to know what the range of that will be. And the Blazer as well, we only saw a just an image of the logo of that thing, so we don't really know what that's going to look like yet. But yeah, it looks fantastic. I'm really excited. Murray talked a lot about how the brand is doubling down on EVs. They want to have EVs across the range very soon, and that to me is very exciting stuff.
So I want to discuss, because we were talking a little bit about this in chat during the presentation. So I want to discuss the one thing that I think a lot of people keeps a lot of people from getting into EVs right now, which is charge speed, right? So I have a Tesla Model Y, and it takes me, 6 to 8 hours to charge from, let's say, 10 to 20% to about 80%. I don't charge it up all the way for daily driving. And I probably charge like once a week. Like, it's not, because I don't go anywhere. But the thing is when I'm out and about, it's very frustrating to not be near a supercharger and have kind of low range, and know that if I plug it into a standard, charge point location that I find randomly, that it usually is, it's worth maybe 15 miles of range, like 20 miles. I go shopping, I go to lunch, maybe, to see a movie, whatever. I think that's a thing that a lot of, that's a preconceived notion that a lot of people have about buying an EV, is that it will be very difficult to charge it while they're out and about, or that it will take a very long time to charge it. And the supercharger network, I think, has been one of Tesla's biggest advantages in that arena for a while. Because, like if I go to a level 3 supercharger, I can charge from 10 to kind of 70-ish% in about 15 minutes, which is pretty good. And so I want to hear a little bit about the infrastructure plans for electric vehicle charging, because I think that is really, there's a gas station on every corner, right? And so that we have to kind of get to that point to encourage people to be like, oh, well, it's just as easy to go and charge my electric car if I wanted an electric car, as it is to just go get $5 worth of gas, which is like a gallon in LA right now, but that's neither here nor there. So tell everybody out there a little bit about the initiatives and the different build outs of EV networks that are happening right now that are competitive both in scope, scale, and speed, charging speed with the supercharger network. Like, I want to know more about that.
It's definitely very complicated right now. Tesla's had the advantage of having a really early head start and really a comprehensive plan for expanding supercharger network. As you mentioned, they are all over the place. In fact, they just opened one in Hawaii, so they've got every state covered at this point. And they also made it very easy to understand. They've got speed 1, 2, and 3. Basically, the newest superchargers are version 3, which are 250 kilowatt, and that, as you mentioned, is really, really fast. You can get yourself an 80% charge in maybe 20 minutes, maybe even less if all the temperature conditions are correct. But there are equivalent chargers that are as fast or faster. Electrify America is the network that's probably the biggest in terms of high-speed chargers. And they've got a really comprehensive network that's building out across the U.S. as well. Definitely not to the size of superchargers, but getting there. But then also we see a lot of different state initiatives. Vermont, for example, is putting fast chargers at every exit on their a main highway that runs through the state. New York as well, on every exit on the thruway, they're putting high-speed chargers. But where it starts to get complicated is what exactly high-speed means. We talk about level 2 being your average charger at home, which is what you talked about. It would take an overnight to charge your Tesla fully. Level 3 chargers range in speed. Usually a 50 kilowatt would be the slowest of a level 3, going all the way up to 250 kilowatt, which would be on par with what Tesla's fastest chargers are now. And that's what Electrify America is offering at all of their chargers. So it's a little bit complicated, and I think there's a little bit of learning and definitely some education that we have to do to make sure that people understand what people are talking about when they talk about different speeds of chargers. But, most people know the difference between 87 octane and 93 octane, or at least between, mid-grade and premium unleaded fuel. We'll get to that point with chargers as well, and once things settle down a little bit, once we get more chargers out there. But really, the most important charger is going to be the charger at home. The majority of EV buyers at this point have a place to charge their car. And even if the charging speeds are low, that's fine, because as you mentioned, you charge up once overnight, you drive for a week. If you've got 300 miles of range in most of the EVs that are coming out now, really once a week charging is plenty for most people.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there's any kind of incentive or subsidy that that the government can maybe offer, landlords to sort of incentivize adding EV charging to apartments and, rentals and things like that, because it really is in major metropolitan cities, you just have so many apartment complexes and you can't make every space EV charge capable, right? It's such that would be really expensive. And so I think that's one of the biggest hurdles. Yeah, but
as EV
but
adoption
moving on
goes
to
up,
that,
though, I think it's
go
something that landlords are going to have to offer, though. Honestly, I think that as EVs become more and
People
more
will
desirable,
demand it.
people are going to start choosing their places where they can charge. We certainly see a lot of parking garages in New York City offering chargers now, but certainly it's not on a one-to-one ratio to the number of spots. But I think that'll continue to spread. It's a little bit of a chicken and the egg thing, but honestly, again, once the market demand is there, once we have a lot of these great cars on the market, it's going to happen.
so one of the things I think that could be a potential alternative to that would be autonomous driving, right? So we saw a few autonomous options that that GM presented us with. I definitely caught the let's see, we had two, right? Was it two? And then also they talked about Cruise and Super Cruise, which would be coming to vehicles starting next year. What they say, 22 vehicles starting next year, which is pretty exciting for the future of autonomous driving. Let's talk a little bit about the implementation of this. I hate to always go back to Tesla, but the thing is they have a, quote unquote, full self-driving beta that's out on the road. And this is sort of something that would be kind of similar, right? So they're saying you could add options like navigate, as you're navigation driving, automatic lane changes, things like that. So let's discuss a little bit what this means in terms of, it seems like they're kind of saying, well, Tesla's doing it, so now we can do something very similar, and we're going to. So what do you think that means for GM in the way of its future in autonomous driving?
Yeah, they talked about two different levels of assisted driving. Super Cruise, which is what you can currently get in some Cadillacs. Mary said they were going to be spreading that across the range, which is definitely exciting to hear that you'll be able to have more cars. Super Cruise is just in limited conditions on the highway, hands-off driving. You still need to be paying attention, but the car will handle itself on the highway. But what she talked about, what she introduced, was something called Ultra Cruise, which would be the next step. And that would be truly hands-off driving, where you get in your car, in your driveway, enter your destination. And at that point, the car drives itself. I'm guessing you would still need to be paying attention. We're not talking about full, level 5 autonomy here, where the car is completely self-sufficient. But that would be, a direct competitor to what Tesla's trying to pull off with full self-driving. And again, the idea of introducing that next year, that sounds pretty aggressive to me. There's a lot of questions that I have about what kind of sensors are we talking about in the car? How much would this option package cost? We already see Tesla charging $10,000 for full self-driving. Presumably Cadillac and General Motors will be charging something similar to that. Will you need a LiDAR sensor in your car that you don't have now? Will you need extra radar sensors? I have a zillion questions about that. But the timing of 2023 is very exciting and honestly very aggressive. That's got to be something that's going to be opening some eyes at Tesla, because really, Tesla seemed to be the only one kind of demoing this kind of software for consumers now, and I don't believe that Tesla's going to have that software fully polished by the middle of next year. So I'm curious to see how we are shaping up in the middle of 2023.
I have to admit, it really freaks me out to know that 2023 is actually next year. I still feel like it's 2019. So I'm like, 2023. That's 4 or 5 years out. No. Nope. That is next year. Time is a flat circle. Okay. So you mentioned the Cadillac, which I want to talk about. We did not see it. The Cadillac Concept, we did not see a whole lot of. We got a very quick glimpse of it, which, and it seemed like J-Lo was riding in it. I feel like I caught a glimpse of Jennifer Lopez riding in this car.
I was looking more at the car
happily
than
screaming.
the celebrities myself.
It seemed like she was very happily screaming at the acceleration power. That seemed, it feels like that's what I caught. I caught a glimpse of that. It's in here somewhere. As we're watching this B-roll, is a very fancy lady in the coat. In the gold coat, but they talked a little bit about, and they didn't get into details, but we did get a quick glimpse of the Cadillac Concept, which I saw doing a quick lane change there in the B-roll while they were going through all their cars. But I want to talk about this other concept, which is very interesting, and I have to admit it seems very futuristic to me. Let's talk about the other concept car they have. And this was, is it Halo? This is terribly fascinating.
Halo is basically Cadillac's concept for kind of forward-looking concepts. It is itself a halo, appropriately. But what this concept in particular we're talking about is the inner space. So this is basically a very swoopy, low, sort of a coupe. It's kind of hard to, it's technically a 3-door because the roof itself actually opens up. So it's kind of a 3-door, but in a very odd configuration.
Can we call it a car pod? Like it seems like a pod.
Yeah, it's the idea is definitely Cadillac's vision for a future of fully autonomous driving. We're talking full on level 5. You will never need to touch a wheel and pedals because there literally is no wheel and pedal in this thing. It's a big,
in fact, you don't even need to see outside if you don't want to. That was the thing that was really interesting to me.
Yeah, there's a giant display that comes up from the dashboard that completely covers your vision if you want it to, and so you can. The idea being that you can lean back and look forward. So the coupe is a very kind of low sweeping looking thing, and it's definitely an interesting idea. We've seen a lot of different visions for what the future of autonomous transportation should be, and this one to me looked a little bit odd because it's kind of cramped. You know, a lot of these things, Cadillac did show off a bigger, boxier thing, more of a fully autonomous kind of living room on wheels where you can have business meetings and that kind of thing while you're going out to a party.
With the fancy lady and the guy.
The more laid back inner space is a bit of an odd one for me because it doesn't really look actually that warm or welcoming or comfortable. It's not the kind of place that I would really want to spend a long period of time in versus one of these bigger boxier things we've seen as well. They also showed off their flying car concept briefly, and it's kind of
VTOL.
Honestly a little bit all over the place to me.
Yeah, this was a little bit all over the place. I'm still not convinced about the single flying autonomous drone that seats one. It just seems to me like a recipe for disaster. But yeah, like this is the couch situation. It's autonomous driving. And then this one is sort of reclining. They're like relaxing. They talked about how you can change the screens to be, a spa, a restorative experience, or you could have AR, all these different types of ways to sort of like enjoy your ride, which is very, like terribly interesting. It's very cool, but also, very, very far in the future. This is one of these things that, as we mentioned before, we started talking about, this is something that is like years and years and years down the road.
Yeah, every manufacturer has put together some kind of a concept for its autonomous future. And I think that it is interesting that they're all doing this, but ultimately they're just not really that practical at this point. I don't really see... I feel like we need to see this technology actually working before we can really get too excited about any of these concepts for an autonomous future. Because right now, it always seems like it's a year or two away, and then a year or two comes by, and it's still a year or two away. We see all these beautiful or interesting concepts of living rooms on wheels, or as we saw, the inner space, really kind of laid back, cool cruisers. But to me, it's all playing around in the sand and not really getting us anywhere functional.
I have to say, I think the one bit of that concept that is really appealing to me that I would like to start seeing in cars is that the roof, it's not a gull wing, it's a gull top.
It's definitely
very interesting to me.
I mean, you could definitely make some conclusions about this being a Cadillac and perhaps their buying segment being a little bit older than perhaps others, so they need to make it so that you can easily get in and out of what is ultimately, it looks like a pretty low swept car. Also that the seats kind of swivel out as well. This is something we haven't seen on cars since I think the 50s or the 60s have been the last time that we saw cars or seats that could actually swivel like that. But it definitely looks like it would be relatively easy to get in and out of despite its shapely profile.
Well, I'm getting old, so I like that. Well. I like it a lot. Okay, so we're gonna wrap things up here. I just want to tease one thing that everybody watching has to check this out. I literally saw this while we were watching live stream. I screamed in my office. I had to mute my microphone. It was amazing. This is a tweet from Out of Spec Studios teasing the Bmw Ix, which is a color changing vehicle, which is that blows my mind on a level. This is why I love CES right here. This type of technology.
This is definitely very cool. So the iX is BMW's electric crossover, which is coming to market very soon, priced I think around $80,000 to start. This is one that's been wrapped with e-ink displays, so the same stuff that you see in an Amazon Kindle, and that's why I can do this color shifting stuff. BMW actually says that this can actually do color, not just black and white, but it sure looks like black and white to me.
Well, maybe at 11 o'clock, which is when their digital event will be, we'll be rolling it on CNET Highlights. That's our YouTube channel for all of the highlights that we see from live streams and all the other great things that companies put out. We do supercuts there. You can go check out CNET Highlights. That's our YouTube channel where you're going to find the BMW live stream with that amazing iX with the color changing paint. Hopefully, maybe they'll show us some color during that live stream. That would be pretty amazing. I'm still losing my mind. That's some octopus stuff right there. I have dreamed about that technology since I was a kid. Like we had the little Matchbox cars. You put them in water, they change color. And it's just, this is so cool to me. That's the type of stuff that's like, this is the future right here. Like I love when CES has things like this. It gets me so excited about the show and also just about technology, and really makes me feel like we're living in the future. That's just so cool. And I want it right now. So I can't wait to see that. Tim, thank you so much for hanging out and talking to me and everybody else about electric vehicles. And we will be online all week long. Feel free to go to cnet.com and also be sure to subscribe right here to our YouTube channel for all the best CES 2022 coverage, both video and editorial. And until next time, be good humans. Bye.